I got into this sort of the other way around. I didn't do the circuit grind first. I was actually a product of Astro. A good a friend of mine.
Nice plug, by the way. Thank you.
No, I'm not shy about it. That's exactly where I started. Hits.tv, Astro's Blast Off. That was my
Yep.
my first step into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, back in the day, it's not like now. There's no social media. So once you get on TV and radio, you are immediately considered to be at least a big deal for a while. You know, and not the other way around. You know, it's like they're supposed to put you on TV because you're special, but doesn't matter if you're special or not. Once you be on TV, like, oh, I know you, you know. So this was the days of Curtis Blues Review, and I wasn't very good, to be honest. You know, I was just I had a sound, so I got to be known as the guy who did renditions, like interesting renditions. I would sing a song in a totally different way from the original artist.
Was that harking back to your original days when you took the poem and you sang it to Johnny B. Good? Was that the start of how you did renditions differently?
Well, in hindsight now, I would say I understand why I did that, you know, because that was what I was exposed to as a child. So I would hear Paul and my dad do versions of songs, and I think like, oh, wow, that's a cool song. And then years later, I hear the original, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it sounds very different.
Yeah, so they reworked it. So it was just in your DNA to naturally just want to rework stuff then.
Because that was my earliest exposure to playing music, you know. And I always say this, like everyone asks us, what's your genre, right? People always want to know what's your style. I'm actually just like them because I grew up being exposed to their music and the music that they like, because it was my dad's car and he was the king of the stereo. And you can say, so I'm actually a result of sort of an amalgamation of all the genres put together. I love pop, I love blues, funk, soul, country even, you know, which is like all very different, but put together to make music.
Right. But still though, I'm still thinking about like if it was me and if I was like the son of a legend, and my dad was also a recording artist as well. But
oh really?
Yeah, because back in the 60s, right? So it was with the Falcons and stuff like this.
Oh bro, legend man Falcons.
Right, you know, yeah. So for me, when my dad starts playing, I stay away. You know, I don't touch nothing because he's the man himself, right? So I'm never gonna stack up against that, right? So did you ever feel that like you're not worthy the moment your uncle or your dad plays?
Oh, absolutely. Like it's whenever you watch Paul play, and this is not just because he's my uncle, like even my dad, right? So my dad and him are very different. My dad was good, no doubt, but Paul was and still is, like if he was alive today, he totally different planet, man. Like the things he does, I have so many stories, and I love hearing these stories from other musicians. You know, especially when they make the connection. So, I mean, we won't go into that, otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
So many real life testaments that are a testimony to how special he actually was. He was brilliant musically. Like people don't even know.
Yeah, but let's say he was around today, right now. Yeah. And then if he was to play in front right now, and I say, hey, Russell, come and play with me, how would you go? No, thank you.
Yeah,
I would, because I have done it. He did that to us once. On my dad's side, there's 8 of us here in Malaysia, cousins, so the next generation, right? So I don't know if they all got together and came up with a plan, but all the brothers managed to have one boy and one girl.
Right.
And we are all like 1 year apart. So there's 4 boys and 4 girls. And all 4 boys play guitar and a little bit of everything else, but guitar has always been our main thing. So at one of Uncle Paul's birthdays, I can't remember which one it was, one of the milestone ones, maybe 40th, he called us up on stage one by one. He had a big party, all the musicians in town were there, and he was like, these are my nephews, I want you to meet them, and put us on the spot. And so we went up and jammed, and he was so good that when he played with other people, he made them sound good.
Right. Okay.
He knew exactly because I believe he saw music up